Bam, bam, bam.
Oof! Right.
Where are you going?
I'm going behind you, darling.
What?
It's not the first time I've said that, is it?
It doesn't take long, does it?
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Cut.
The doings of Mustard.
And Boaty. Sorry. Boaty and Mustard on the prices of fuel.
The doings of Mustard and Boaty.
Indeed.
Let me have my spoon. So, yeah, would you like to introduce this idea?
This is going to be the first in a series of a new feature where Mustard and Boaty discuss in a serious and informed fashion matters of current interest to the motoring public
Very,
whilst drinking tea.
very well put there.
How very kind.
And the idea is how to save fuel whilst you drive. Boop, 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 boop.
So, tell me, do you have any useful and salient tips for the viewing public in relation to how to save fuel, which is so terribly expensive at the moment?
Well, yes, I do actually.
How splendid! I'm sure we will all be listening with apt and rapt attention.
Would you like the most obvious one?
I would love the most obvious one.
The most obvious one is don't drive like a twat. That could save an awful lot of fuel. If you don't drive too close to people, you're not going to be braking all the time, and therefore you're going to be using less fuel because you're doing a bit more coasting. Do you like that one?
Most interesting.
Yeah.
Most interesting. Yes, yes. So there we have it, viewers. The number one tip is don't drive like a twat.
Don't drive like a twat.
Don't drive like a twat.
Or a tosser.
How would people be aware of whether they were driving like a twat
It's a
or
good
like
question.
a tosser?
It's a good question.
And which is the most economical style of driving?
Oh.
Tosser driving or twat driving?
Tosser. A tosser?
I like the idea of driving a twat, fitting a twat with a Fisher Price steering wheel and
No, you can't get the racks from.
that opinion.
A tosser will basically push his way through and just keep going. A twat will just drive aggressively and do an awful lot of braking. Tossers don't do much braking, I don't think. No, they like you to just move out of the way.
Of course, it should be mentioned that braking in and of itself doesn't use fuel. However, to get back to your perambulation, having braked does require fuel.
Yeah.
So what we're saying really...
Kinetic energy.
Indeed, yes. Newton's seventh law of motion.
Is it the same? No, there's 4 laws of motion.
This was in his subsequent career in the
In the bank.
in the sequel.
Right.
Some more of Newton's greatest hits.
Yeah, when he became a Sir.
Did he?
Sir Isaac Newton.
Oh, fair play to him. I was getting him mixed up with Isaac Asimov. Have you ever read any of his stuff?
Nope.
No, you really should.
Won't do.
He had some excellent tips on saving petrol. Some of them were slightly illegal. So, the point is that if one drives with extra awareness of situations ahead, minimising your slowing down, thus minimising the need for acceleration, which is where more fuel is used than any other element of the driving process, that is one way to save fuel.
Yes.
Would you like to hear one of my tips for saving fuel?
Yeah.
Tyre pressures. Be sure to check your tyre pressures. Underinflated tyres will gobble up. If you're doing that again, I can see you in there. Don't do that to me again. You're not getting away with it again. Not happening, matey. I'm keeping an eye on you. Underinflated underinflated tyres will mean that in order to achieve and maintain any particular speed, more effort from the engine will be required. And the more effort your engine has to make, the more petrol it will require. It's very similar to the human body. Now, if you're just sitting on your fat bastard ass watching television, then you probably only need perhaps 3 or 4 packets of crisps. Whereas if you go out and run a marathon, your body is going to demand more fuel. Well, your little engine in your little car is exactly the same. So try and give your car a life where it is sitting on the settee watching television rather than having to go out and run a marathon. Over to you.
Well, that's good advice, and what you could also do is overinflate your tyres, which means that there'll be even less rolling resistance. And the only problem with that, of course, is that you will wear your tyres out. But we're not talking about tyres. We're talking about petrol. Tyres are never going to be as expectorant. Tyres are never going to be as expensive as petrol. And the other thing is, of course, that another tip I would have for driving and saving fuel is don't worry about it too much. Because you've got to have some sense of enjoyment. If you're driving your car and all you're doing is just try. You've got no beard. You can't do that unless you've got a beard. You daft bugger.
Do continue.
Too late now.
Have you peaked?
No.
Okay, so
yeah, if you it's like if you have a bottle of wine, you buy it to drink it to enjoy it, and that's simply it. If you want to be, economical with it, you buy it and you don't drink it. You just buy it to look at. It'll never wear out. Do the same with your car. It's such a boring subject, isn't it?
And it was your idea.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so let's give the viewers a real life scenario. It's July. If we were living somewhere else, it might be quite warm outside. So imagine that you're driving along and you suddenly realise, gosh, I'm too warm. My plums are sweaty. Now, would it be more economical to deploy the air conditioning or to open a window?
Good question.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can I answer that one?
Please do.
Don't know.
Oh.
Well, I do know actually. It rather depends on how efficient your air conditioning thing is.
Good point.
If there's not much gas in it, and you've got it on continually to try and get that tiny bit of air cooler, then you're still using up more fuel using it.
Because the compressor's going to be working really quite hard, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's not going to be working any harder than normal, but you're going to be using it, and it's not going to be doing anything. And it will be working harder because at no point you'll think I need to switch this off because I'm too cold. And if you've got a big diesel engine, the compressor's not going to be taking much power away from it. If you've got a small petrol engine, it will.
Which is why for many, many years air conditioning was almost never fitted to smaller petrol engine cars.
Yep, with good reason.
Now, it used to be said that turning on the air conditioning cost you about 5 mpg. Would you say that that is still the case with more efficient current air conditioning systems?
I wouldn't.
Would you not? Would you say it for £10?
I'd do anything for £10. Poor chap. Don't drive with fat people as friends. Well, you can be really helpful about it. You can just tell the truth and say, look, you're going to spoil my fuel economy. It would help you if you walked.
If you walked,
Yeah.
yes.
It would help you a great deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because exercise is...
So undo that seatbelt now.
Oh, you'd actually let them get in?
Yeah, because getting in and out would be a form of exercise.
So there we are. never ever carry a fat passenger. What about if the driver themselves is significantly overweight?
Well, you're not a passenger, are you?
No, no,
So that doesn't count.
it doesn't count.
No.
Right.
There's
But
nothing you can do about that one.
but if they were to lose weight,
Yeah, well,
their economy would
that
improve.
is a good point. So another fuel-saving tip would be go on a diet. go on a diet yourself,
Yeah.
and then you'll reclaim the benefits of that, not only in your health but in your wallet.
Indeed, indeed. Yes, that's a very good point.
Another
So-
one could be the fuel is used up in distance, and if you swerve much to avoid potholes, rabbits, whatever you like, you're going further. You're going to use more fuel.
So run things over wherever possible.
Yes.
We've established that if you are overweight, it will improve your fuel economy if you manage to lose some weight. So, to take a real life example, how much money do you think the average person would save on a commute to work in mixed conditions over a distance of, let's say, 10 miles, if they would have a shit before leaving for work rather than having a shit at work?
Well, right, now that's a tricky one, because of course, if you do it at work, you're doing it on company time.
It's a paid shit. Yeah.
And we all know that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could buy some more petrol.
Well, could you? Could you? Because you're getting paid for that time. However,
Oh, well, yes, that's it. No, you're
whatever
just doing
you-
less work, are you?
yeah, yeah.
Well, actually, the other issue is, if you're being paid to shit, you're not working, so there's work not being done, means you're more likely to get overtime.
My mother, when she was alive, bless her, ran a nursing home, and she used to make me do unpaid work to repay her for what was, by all accounts, a very difficult birth. And and I had this lovely lady in a stand aid, and I used to pride myself on my bum wiping. I mean, I was really, really, really good. It was like the full 5-star wiping experience. You know, we're talking about, because I didn't stop at the wiping. Oh no, it wasn't just wiping and then finish. No, we're talking hot, soapy flannels, then a nice hot flannel with clean water, patted dry with a soft towel, applying a little bit of barrier cream, all of that sort of thing. And it was when I was just at the barrier cream stage with this nice lady in the stand aid, with supporting standing up like that, and I'm behind her just applying and she let go this dreadful fart with accompanied shrapnel, and I was really concentrating hard on the barrier cream, so I had my mouth open, and it just went.
That's a great story.
And it didn't.
That deserves its own video. That.
A new feature. Boaty gets shut on.
That's fantastic. If I had to wipe somebody else's arse, I wouldn't do it any better than I do my own.
That's an interesting question.
Is it a question?
Well, it's about to become a question. If part of your paid employment was wiping an arse,
Yeah.
then would you wipe the arse to your own standard? Because you were being paid, would you go above and beyond and wipe to a higher standard? And if you did, would you then upgrade your own arse wiping to a paid-for standard?
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, it could end up with you having a much cleaner bottom than what you normally would have if you wasn't a professional arse wiper.
Yeah, yeah.
So it goes without saying that if you're going to do something, you've got to do it to your best of ability. Otherwise, you don't like doing it. You enjoy things if you really put the effort in.
Yes.
Right. So, and then with that,
Because there's a sense of satisfaction from a job well done.
yeah, and there's nothing worse than wishing your life away Whilst wiping. I cannot think of anything worse than wishing my life away whilst wiping somebody else's arse.